Why do men try to get their ex back? The truth revealed. We've all been there. One minute you're sharing takeout and making plans for the future, and the next, you're picking up your stuff from his apartment, wondering where it all went wrong. Breakups are tough. No two ways about it. Some guys disappear faster than a plate of nachos at a Super Bowl party. But then you got the others, the ones who crawl back months later, suddenly singing a different tune about how they've changed. We're gonna dive deep into the male psyche, unpack those late-night texts, and give you the lowdown on why so many men try to rekindle the flame with an ex. By the end of this video, you'll be able to spot the real deal from a mile away. Alright, let's talk turkey. Men, just like women, experience a roller coaster of emotions after a breakup. But here's the kicker. They often process those emotions differently. See, sometimes that tough guy exterior cracks, and what's underneath? A whole lot of vulnerability. And that vulnerability can lead to some pretty interesting behavior. You see, men often find themselves grappling with emotions they didn't even know they had. It's like opening a floodgate of feelings that were previously locked away. First up, we got the instant regret fellas. These are the guys who, once the dust settles and the pizza boxes pile up, realize, whoa, I messed up. The comfort, the companionship, the inside jokes. It all hits them at once, and suddenly, you're looking pretty darn good. They start to miss the little things, like the way you laughed at their jokes or the way you always knew how to cheer them up. They remember the good times, conveniently forgetting the reasons things went south in the first place. It's like their brain does a selective memory wipe, erasing all the bad parts and highlighting the good. Then there's the ego kick crew. These guys, they don't miss you, not really. At least, not at first. They're too busy enjoying their newfound freedom, thinking they're better off without you. But the second they sense you're moving on, that you're not sitting around waiting for them, their competitive instincts kick in. It's like a game, and they can't stand the thought of losing. Suddenly, you're the prize they have to win back, even if they didn't want you in the first place. It's all about the chase, the thrill of the hunt. And finally, we got the comfort crutch contingent. These are the guys who underestimated the power of a familiar face, a warm body next to theirs on the couch. They miss the routine, the easy conversation, the feeling of being cared for. Loneliness is a powerful motivator, folks, and it can make even the most stubborn man reconsider his options. They start to realize that being alone isn't as great as they thought it would be. They miss the routine, the easy conversation, the feeling of being cared for. It's the little things that start to add up, making them long for the comfort they once had. So they reach out, not necessarily because they miss you, but because they miss the feeling of being with someone. Now, I'm not saying all men fall neatly into these categories. Human beings are complex, and their motivations are rarely black and white. But understanding these common drivers can give you a leg up when it comes to deciphering those mixed signals. Because let's be honest, sometimes those signals are so mixed, you need a GPS and a compass just to figure out which way is up. It's a maze of emotions and intentions, and it can be incredibly confusing. So the next time you get that late-night text, that "Hey stranger" message out of the blue, remember this. It's not always about love. Sometimes it's about ego, about loneliness, about a whole lot of things that have nothing to do with you. So take a step back, evaluate the situation, and remember that sometimes it's not about you at all. So we've talked about why men try to rekindle things, but what about the how? How do they go about making their grand re-entrance into your life? Well, buckle up, because we're about to break down the most common tactics in the playbook of getting your ex back. First up, we have the classic midnight text. You know the one, it pops up on your phone just as you're drifting off to sleep, full of emojis and vague pronouncements of missing you. It's the digital equivalent of drunk dialing, fueled by a potent cocktail of nostalgia, regret, and maybe one too many beers. Don't be fooled by the timing, folks. These texts are rarely about genuine longing, and more about testing the waters, seeing if you'll bite. Next, we've got the grand gesture. This is where your ex channels his inner romantic hero, showing up unannounced with flowers, apologies, and promises of change bigger than Texas. It's all very dramatic, very movie-esque, but remember, actions speak louder than words, and even louder than a dozen roses delivered at your doorstep. And then, there's the slow burn, the master manipulator of the X-Files. This approach is all about subtlety. He'll start by liking your old Instagram photos, commenting on your Facebook posts, maybe even sending you a funny meme that reminds him of your shared past. He's playing the long game, slowly but surely worming his way back into your life under the guise of friendship. But don't be fooled, folks. This ain't about friendship. It's about testing the boundaries, seeing if he can regain a foothold in your world. Now, I'm not saying that every attempt at reconciliation is a bad faith effort. Sometimes people do genuinely change and grow. But here's the cold, hard truth. If he really wanted to change, he would have done it before the breakup, before he hurt you, before he took your relationship for granted. Look, I'm all for second chances, but they need to be earned, not given away lightly. If your ex is serious about making things right, he needs to show you, not just tell you. Remember, you deserve someone who chooses you, who fights for you, who doesn't need to lose you to realize your worth. So the next time you get that late-night text or see a grand gesture at your doorstep, take a moment to think, is this really what you want? Or is it just a fleeting attempt to win you back without any real change? You have the power to decide what you truly deserve. Don't settle for anything less than genuine effort and real commitment. After all, your happiness and peace of mind are worth more than any midnight text or grand gesture. Choose wisely and always put yourself first. Chapter 3. Red flags and green lights. Can you trust him this time? So your ex is back, singing a sweeter tune, promising the moon and stars. He's saying all the right things, doing all the right gestures, and it feels like a scene straight out of a romantic movie. But how do you know if he's truly changed, or if this is just another round of the same old song and dance? How can you be sure that this time, it's not just a temporary fix, but a genuine transformation? Well, fear not, because I'm going to equip you with the ultimate relationship lie detector test. This isn't just about spotting the obvious signs, but understanding the deeper, often subtle cues that reveal his true intentions. We're going to talk about the green lights, the signs that he might actually be serious this time, and the red flags, those glaring warnings that he's still stuck in his old ways. It's about balancing hope with caution. Let's start with the green lights, those glimmers of hope that maybe, just maybe this time is different. These are the signs that suggest he's genuinely committed to making things work. First and foremost, a man who's truly changed takes ownership of his mistakes. He doesn't just say sorry, he shows it through his actions and his willingness to seek help if needed. And I'm not talking about a half-hearted "I'm sorry if I hurt you." It's about a deep, heartfelt apology that acknowledges the pain caused and the steps he's taking to ensure it doesn't happen again. I'm talking about a genuine acknowledgement of his actions and their impact on you, without deflecting blame or making excuses. It's about him understanding the gravity of his actions and showing empathy. He owns his part in the breakdown of the relationship and demonstrates a willingness to do the work to be better. Another green light? Space. He respects your need for time and doesn't rush the process. And I don't mean the 2 weeks of radio silence he maintained after you broke up. I mean giving you the space to breathe, to think, and to heal without constantly checking in or pressuring you. I'm talking about real, intentional space for both of you to heal, reflect, and grow. It's about understanding that healing is a process and not something that can be rushed. A man who's serious about change understands the importance of giving you the time and space you need to process your emotions without pressure or expectations. He's patient and supportive, not pushy. Now let's talk about those red flags, those blaring sirens that should have you running for the hills. These are the signs that indicate he hasn't really changed and is likely to repeat past mistakes. First up, the timing of his reappearance. Did he suddenly resurface after midnight, conveniently after a string of bad dates? Or does he only reach out when he's lonely or bored? Did he suddenly resurface after midnight, conveniently after a string of bad dates? This kind of timing often indicates he's not genuinely interested in you, but rather in filling a void. Or maybe he realized he made a mistake after seeing you happy and thriving without him. If his return is triggered by jealousy or a bruised ego, it's a major red flag. Honey, that's not a change of heart, that's a bruised ego. He's more concerned about his own feelings than yours, and that's a recipe for disaster. Another major red flag? The same old fights resurfacing within weeks of getting back together. If you find yourselves falling into the same arguments, it's a clear sign that the underlying issues haven't been resolved. If the same issues that plagued your relationship before are rearing their ugly heads, it's a clear sign that not much has changed. It's important to recognize these patterns and not ignore them. Remember, patterns are hard to break, and if he hasn't done the work to address those fundamental issues, you're setting yourself up for a repeat performance of the same heartbreak. Don't let history repeat itself. And finally, trust your gut. You know that feeling deep down, that little voice whispering words of caution. Don't ignore it. Your intuition is often more accurate than you realize. You know that feeling deep down, that little voice whispering words of caution. Don't ignore it. It's there for a reason, guiding you to make the best decision for yourself. Our intuition is a powerful tool, honed by experience and a deep understanding of ourselves. It's your inner wisdom speaking, and it's crucial to listen to it, especially in matters of the heart. If something feels off, if his words don't align with his actions, if you find yourself constantly questioning his motives, it's time to pump the brakes. Don't ignore these inconsistencies. You deserve better than empty promises and recycled apologies. You deserve someone who is genuinely committed to you and your happiness. So the next time your ex comes knocking, remember this. You have the power to decide who gets a place in your life. Choose wisely and prioritize your own well-being and happiness above all else. Moving on, choosing yourself after the breakup. We've covered a lot of ground today, folks. We've talked about the reasons men try to reconcile, the tactics they use, and the signs that he's either truly changed or just rehashing the same old patterns. Real lasting change takes time, effort, and a whole lot of introspection. Remember, you are strong, you are worthy, and you deserve a love that doesn't require a break in the action to figure out its worth. Drop a comment below and tell me, did your ex circle back? What happened? And smash that like button if you've ever gotten that late night "Hey stranger" text.